Well, hey, it's the Pedal Guy here. How you doing? Today what we're going to do is we are going to continue to use our amp with our HeadRush pedalboard, and we're going to get started right now. Well, hey there, it's Scott at the Pedal Guy here. How you doing? I hope you're having a great week. I hope you're going to have a great weekend. Now, before we get started, please take a second and click on that subscribe button down there and ring that bell so you can stay up to date with all of our videos. And if you're watching this on Facebook or Instagram, be sure to like and follow us so you can stay up to date with all of our activities, because we do post daily and we'd love to hear from you. Okay, well in this video, I'm going to take you through a new rig that I've designed that essentially uses the external amp as a reverb tank, so to speak. So I'm using it simply for the purpose of being a reverb source for the rest of the rig. And the way it's mixed is back into my actual physical mixer here. So I'm going to take you through how the rig is set up, and then I'm going to play a few examples for you. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go through the rig now. I will leave a link in the video description so you can download and install this rig onto your HeadRush pedalboard if you want to. But just keep in mind that if you haven't watched my other video on how to use the HeadRush with an external amp, you're probably going to want to watch that first before you really dig into this rig here. Otherwise, it's really not going to make a whole lot of sense, okay? Now, how is it set up? Well, very simply put, we are sending a dry signal out to the amplifier, and then we are capturing the reverb reflections of that amplifier with a ribbon mic, and that's going back into my mixing board over here. And so what you're getting is you're getting a mixture of outputs of the HeadRush and the reverb reflections from the amp. So you're going to marry the two together, and it'll give you a little bit of spring there in the background. That's the magic of this little setup here. So it's kind of a wall of sound, if you will. So let's just go ahead and get started to the far left here. So the parametric EQ, not really anything too exciting here. I just went with the basic settings here. And this is because I want to send some equalization off to the guitar amplifier. And the reason being is because we are bypassing the preamp and we're bypassing the EQ section when we use the effects return on the back of the external amp. This is again why you want to watch my other video, because that statement right there is probably going to confuse the heck out of you if you haven't watched it yet. So make sure you watch that video, okay? And in this case, what we've done is we've sent an equalized signal off to the external amp so that the reverb reflections will have a little brightness to it, a little sparkle. To the right, we have the effects loop, and this is where we send the signal off to the external amp. Now, when you first load this up, by default, you're going to have your mix is going to be set at 100. Now, you don't want that in this case. What you want is you want a ratio of wet to dry, or dry to wet, depending on how you look at it. In this case, I chose 30%. If you go any higher than that, if you go say 50%, it's going to sound a little watered down, and you probably don't want that. So I recommend going with 30% for this rig. Next up is the white boost, and I'm simply using this just as it sounds, as a booster, and I am using the analog warmth preset here. And then what we're doing is we're splitting the signal. So on our right channel, we have a rotary that I didn't mean to turn off, and we have the black op distortion, and then we're going into an impulse response. So instead of traditionally going into an amplifier in a cabinet, what we're doing is we're going into a distortion pedal that's going into an impulse response, so that we can kind of mimic that idea. Because I really like the way actually that the the black op plays with the rotary effect. It does sound pretty cool. On the left channel here, I have an octave that's set an octave down, and that's going to my amp here, and I'm using the J45 amp here, along with the matching cabinet. But in this case, I've also done a couple of other things. I've changed the breakup percentage to 24% because I like how that sounded, and I also changed the microphone to a conditioner 414. And then after that to the mix section. And in the mix section, what I'm doing is I'm panning left and right, but I'm not going hard left and hard right. When you do that, it's not going to sound really good, is the only way I can put it. So I recommend just finding a nice even point. to separate that left and right channel. So channel A, which is up here, is going to the left 23%, and channel B, which is down here, that's going to the right 34%. And I also put a little bit of a delay between the A and B channels. And then we have the Smart Harmony. As you know, I really love this effect, and you're going to hear a really cool little byproduct that I found with using that effect, along with the dynamic delay. And the dynamic delay, of course, was a little bit of a challenge because this delay doesn't start, you don't start hearing the effect of it until you stop playing. So if you're playing long sustained notes, you're not really going to hear this effect until you abruptly cut it off, and then you get a very nice rhythmic effect out of it. But you'll hear it when I go through a couple of audio examples. And essentially that's how this rig is set up. So now without further ado, let's go ahead and plug in and have a listen to what we got. Well, that concludes how we use our HeadRush pedal board with an amp. Now, if you have any further questions about this product or any product that we carry, please visit us at ThePedalGuy.com. Also, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks and have a great day.